I found a Justin Timberlake doll, like the NSYNC Justin Timberlake doll. Um, it was still in the box when he had
Oh,
all the curls.
hello, everybody, and welcome to Talk Clutter to Me. Today, I have a very special guest with me. His name is Chris Cates. Chris is the founder of Dumparoo, who's a junk removal company. He is a family man and he is an incredible friend. So, welcome, Chris.
Welcome, glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about junk removal because I get asked a ton. Do you get rid of the junk? Do you get rid of the junk? What do we do with the trash? And I go, no, I don't deal with the trash. You get rid of the trash. And so a lot of the times I refer Chris to my clients and we have a great system. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Chris.
So, just like you said, so junk removal basically is, your bulk furniture items that you no longer want. So you can have, brand new furniture you're purchasing from Amazon, but you need to get rid of the old first so you can bring that new furniture in. It can also be an appliance, stove, refrigerator, dehumidifier. And it could also be maybe some old construction debris from a remodeling project or a demolition you completed. Maybe you put on a brand new deck and you got the old deck in a pile. Yard debris. Maybe you cleared out an area in your backyard and you got this big heaping 10-yard pile that's bigger than you and you need to get rid of it. It's an eyesore. And that's basically what junk removal is. It becomes an eyesore, or it's just that thing in the corner taking up space, whether it's in your garage, in your living room, upstairs, in your basement. You've ignored it, you walked past it, and you need to get rid of it. So
Just
who do
put
you call?
blinders on.
Right? So who do you call? You don't call Ghostbusters, you call Dumparoo. And we will
Yes.
come out. Yeah, we come out. We give a free on-site estimate, and we look at it. We see, we measure the size of your pile. We look at the total cubic yards. We don't like giving quotes over the phone, and the reason being is because we may underquote you or we may overquote you. So I strongly recommend for customers to let us come out and we can look at it together. And that way we can see what you got, because you may think that, oh, this is a lot, but you have some recyclables, you have some cardboard that's taking up most of the space. What looks like 10 yards may only be 6 yards. So I strongly encourage, folks out there that own homes, or, maybe they're a landlord, they have places. I strongly encourage them to make sure they call Dumparoo, but make sure you get a free on-site estimate. Okay. I just, that's one thing I steer clear of, is giving quotes over the phone. So,
And that
yeah.
makes a lot of sense because it's really hard to quote it over the phone or in a picture because it's really hard to
Yeah.
that that depth perception is lost in photos and
Yes.
whatnot. So it's
Yes.
so difficult to quote that. So
Yes.
how has your business, so you started off as just a one truck, one trailer junk removal guy, I
Yep.
assume, and then how has it gone and evolved to what it is today?
Yeah. Yeah, so a little bit about my background. I managed for GM, General Motors, and I've always had an entrepreneurial streak because of my dad. I don't know how I got it. Maybe it was just tagging along as a kid. Um, but I had this itch to start something. And I just thought of, I'll go buy a truck and a few trailers and get involved in junk. My I would say my brother mentioned, he's a roofer, and my brother he would always mention, hey, the junk removal dumpster rentals is a pretty good business. You should look into it. So that was the first thing that came to mind. So I have this truck, trailers. My wife, she's like, "What are you doing?" Like, I'm like, "I don't know. I've never now think about it. I've never hauled. I've never hitched. Nothing. I've never backed up a trailer. I've never parked it. nothing. So I tinkered around for about a year, just, thinking of a name. What am I going to call this business? What type of items am I going to take? What is junk removal? But as time went on, people were asking, hey, do you rent out your trailers? Or hey, do you provide junk removal services? Do you take a couch? And yeah, we do. So that was kind of how it all started. And the more, it's like anything, the more once you start, pedaling a bicycle and you get more acclimated and you want to start doing tricks. And then, so I started doing more research on the industry. We went into doing junk removal, and then we went into also doing small dump trailer rentals where we deliver the trailer to your home, you fill it up, and then we haul it off for you. And then over the last 6 months, we just launched our trash and recycling service, but it's very unique where you don't got to roll your carts to the curb. We do that. We pretty much go right where your carts are and we're able to empty your carts. We do trash and recycling weekly. And we've been growing that side of the business and it's pretty much overtaking our week. But that's kind of how everything all started. And I sometimes surprise myself because it's been almost 4 years. I'm like, gosh, I went from tinkering around, jackknifing a trailer in a church parking lot to now I'm a pro. I'm in and out, cutting angles. So it's crazy, but like anything, I tell people you got to just jump in and figure it out. You know, and it's not easy, but you just got to figure it out and just keep going.
You just got to keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And let me say that is the most unique trash situation. And I know me and you have talked about it a few times that like, oh, I would love to have the opportunity to not have to roll my bins to the curb because
Yeah.
Chris actually like there was a time there when I had like literally forgotten my husband was off work for so long and he was always the one that took the bins to the curb.
Yeah.
But then he was off work for so long and he wasn't taking them out anymore at night when he came home. And so, because he wasn't leaving the house. And so Chris actually had to come and like help me remove my junk a couple times now. So even at my own house, you guys know the last episode we talked about the things I hoard, but
Yeah.
I still need Chris. Chris is even helpful for me personally. So I love that trash removal situation you have. Oh my gosh, how amazing
Yeah.
is it to get your recycling done every week because there's still places that I go and
Hmm.
I'll ask them, I'm like, all right, so do you guys have recycling? And they'll tell me no. And I'm like, you need recycling. And
Yeah. Or they'll look at, or we have, when we do consultations, and it's the educational piece, right? Michigan's behind with recycling. They passed the law in December to try to increase recycling among residents, shoring up a lot of the transfer stations, landfill, kind of really trying to shore those processes up. I did see an article today and said Michigan did increase their recycling rate by 5%, so which is great. But to your point, a lot of um, a lot of folks don't know, that they have recycling. And what I mean by that is sometimes we talk to customers and I'll ask them, okay, do you want trash and recycling? Oh, well, I don't have that much recycling. Oh, really? So you don't have an Amazon box just in a corner somewhere? You don't drink any Pepsi or water bottles? So for us, we really, really enjoy when we go and do consults. I literally just came from a consultation, and we love the educational piece to really sit down and explain to them what it all involves with recycling, and how it can reduce your trash. And it's a very, very very, very beneficial service. We offer weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and we can create different packages. So we're very, very, we can customize your service.
That's
Yeah.
really awesome. And you're totally right. People don't understand, like the things that can be recycled. And then there's the people who just throw everything into the recycling bin, even if it's not recyclable, actually, for
Yes.
curbside recycling. That drives me crazy too. But like, I have two recycling bins because I go through so much recycling. My husband burns boxes, but we still go through so much
Yeah,
recycling. It's crazy.
it
Ah,
is. It is. I have literally I have customers, and here's the thing, with all the listeners out there, it's we have customers that use whether it's Granger for trash, Waste Management for trash, or some other provider of choice, and they may say, you know what, I want to use Dumparoo for recycling. We have customers like that, and you would be surprised, a one person, two-person household. Once we educate them on what can be recycled, that bin every week, that 64 gallon is filled, which makes us happy because they're reducing their trash. They're reducing the amount that goes into the landfill. And that is coming to a head, just so folks know, is that they're going to start really, um, uh, communicating to residents that, hey, you have to recycle. So I do believe that's coming down the pipeline, is that
yeah.
they're really going to be pressing that.
Oh, I really hope so because there are so many things that can be recycled and it's just I hate it when I hear that a client doesn't have recycling and I'm like, "Oh, I've got all these boxes,
Yeah.
cardboard boxes." So, oh my gosh. Um so my next question is and you've touched on it a little bit already, is how does junk removal play a part in helping get people organized from your point of view?
Oh wow. I mean, it's huge because, and you've probably seen it, Amanda, where you go into a room, a customer's, bedroom or office, and you see an old file cabinet that one leg is missing or the handle is missing. It just looks bad. They want to get rid of it, and then they got all this other files, just different things around that file cabinet, right? Do you want the file cabinet? No, not really. It's given to me by my grandmother. We want to get rid of it. As soon as you get rid of that bulk item, that large item, then it's easier for you to help organize. So that's just kind of a simple, just a quick idea of what how junk removal plays a role, just with the whole reorganizing. Um, the other thing is you have to get rid of those bulk items just so you clear it out so you see what you really got. And that will allow your organization to come in to help reorganize the customer once you have space and room to work with.
Yes, you are so right, Chris, because it's so hard for us to do our job until the junk is gone. I
Yeah.
have literally a client I'm working with right now. Um, she has a buddy who does a trailer system stuff. So, she literally has this huge dumpster in her driveway, and she's like, I'm ready to have it all go. And we had already made tons of decisions before today. And today I'm just like hauling stuff into the dumpster, trying to get it out of my way. And up until now, it's the house has been cluttered still with all the stuff that she's already made decisions on because we've been in anticipation of the dumpster. And
Yeah.
so today was a huge move because we got so much of that actual stuff out of the way. And she's like,
Good.
oh, wow, now I can see what you guys have
Yeah.
been doing. It's really hard to see the progress that we make as organizers
Hmm.
until the junk is gone.
Yeah.
And so that is why I love referring Chris to clients because the sooner I can get the junk out of the way, the better and faster that space is going to
Yeah.
look and feel. Um,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. So random question, but what is the
Yeah.
coolest thing that you found that somebody was trying to get rid of?
Oh wow. Let me think. The coolest thing I found, there's a few. A big tote of vinyl records. And those vinyl records were like the Bee Gees, Earth, Wind and Fire, It was the We Are the World vinyl by Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson. If everybody, I was an 80s baby, so nobody knows. I don't know that there was like no Migos in there, vinyl record in there, or so vinyl records. I found a okay, this is something that people will know. Um, I found a Justin Timberlake doll, like the NSYNC Justin Timberlake doll. Um, it was still in the box when he had
Oh,
all the curls. Let's
I'm gonna
see what
put a
else.
picture on the video of
Yes,
what it's gonna look like.
yeah, it was in the box. And what else? Gosh, I mean, it's so many just different things, and you'd be surprised what people keep. Books, just I mean, you name it, just a lot of stuff. You know,
Right.
it's just a lot. We've come across some pretty interesting things. So
I'm sure. I'm sure you have, as well as every other organizer out there. We all know when somebody asks us to do the master bedroom, we got to be kind
yep.
of careful. What is something that people don't think about or they forget to do before they call you?
So we have trailers and we have a box truck, and we tell the customer, hey, make sure you leave a cleared space, your driveway clear, so we can back in. We've had a couple times where there's three cars in the driveway, especially early in the morning, three cars in the driveway and a trailer, or a fifth wheeler, whatever it is,
Mhm.
it's there. And it's like, we need to have that access, particularly if your stuff is in the garage, or we got to come out the front door. If your cars are blocking that sidewalk leading up to your front door, we can't get through. So I would say that's one of the things that we come across. So
Right. And I will attest to Chris's ability to park the trailers very, very well. As a lot of you know, I've got a bus in my yard. And so he was able to guide this trailer between my garage and my bus. There's a pretty decent space
right,
there, but he was able to guide it right there so my husband could load it up with shingles that were in a pit from when we bought the place. But
I was trying to make sure. I'm like, is this good enough? Like, I want to make sure I get it. Like, I try to get it back there, but
no, you
I
did
was able
great.
to. Yeah, I angled it, so I think it was all right. Yeah,
You
I
did
think
you
I
did
got
a
it.
really great job because while he was doing the shingles thing and we were working on the garage, me and my team were actually working on my garage while he was doing shingles. So it was really
Yeah,
great, perfect spot where it ended up. So amazing.
awesome.
And then what makes you unique? I think all of us, either organizers out there or just the general
Mhm.
public, we see junk removal, junk removal. We see like all these people, these small mom and pop people, these
Yeah,
solopreneurs, these like the two men in a truck do it too, like, or the 1-800
yeah.
got junk. What makes Dumparoo so unique compared to
What
everybody
makes us what makes us unique is the fact that we get customers that will call, and I like to understand what their project is, or what are they trying to accomplish. It's not all about how many customers can I get, you know how much how much can we bring in. So I find myself, whether it's on the phone or going to an estimate, and if they do have a bunch of recyclables, I ask them, do you have a truck? Do you have the means to transport this to the recycling center? Because it's better for you to save the cost, save the money. And if you do have the means to transport that, you're going to save a couple of $100. So those are just some of the things that I really enjoy, because a lot of customers don't know. And the one last thing I want to see is, a business comes out, and yep, we got it. We're going to charge you $300 to get rid of this cardboard. and that's happened, and so I would say for me, it's more just just the customer service. And then we're in it for the long haul. I see a lot of junk removal companies that are just come in, they start up for a couple months. Next thing you know, they're no longer around. We're in it for the long haul. And I say that because we're in this transition mode where we're saying, hey, how can we build a better relationship with the customer?
Where we left off, Chris was talking to us about his junk removal and trash removal business and how incredibly impactful that can be on everybody's organizing. And what I like most about Chris is Chris deals with that physical clutter that so many people think about and talk about. As some of my listeners might know, I talk about 4 different kinds of clutter that happen in our lives. One of them being physical, which a lot of people understand that. But then there's the mental, emotional, and digital clutter. And so, Chris, you deal with a lot of that physical clutter, but how have you either experienced or seen other people? How has that physical clutter impacted their mental clutter?
Well, we've had many clients that just had a lot of stuff. And it's very stressful for them. So first thing we usually do is when we go out to the customer's home and we do a walkthrough, and you can see it on their face, right? And one, we don't judge anybody, right? We all got stuff. How it got there is just how it got there. We don't care about that. So one thing that I noticed with customers is and you probably noticed this too, is that they want to there's really no strategy. It's like, oh, I got this, but I don't know. My cousin has to come and get this, and we got this stuff over here, and they're trying to tackle everything all at once. So what I usually do to try to, bring the customer back down to earth to say, hey, look, we can go in phases, right? We can take our time, start with one room, and if it's yourself, family members, we got plenty of time, right? And so I usually, if they have a lot of stuff, I usually try to give them that time once I sense that, hey, I think they got to go through some of these items. And I tell them, hey, I can come right back, right? And then, I describe our services as far as, how our process of how we remove that, those items. But really from the mental aspect of it, it's mainly just putting the customer at ease, and just letting them know that, hey, we're your partner in this. If there are items that you want to just temporarily set aside, that is perfectly fine, right? And we can move that for you and set those items aside. So we work with the customer, and that's really one of the benefits, when they hire us, is we take our time, we work with them, but we also try to move them along so they can meet their goal, right? Whether it's cleaning out a basement or garage.
Right, exactly. And so that's so wonderful that you kind of you're meeting them where they're at, whether they are completely 100% ready and you can just go ham, or you kind of have to go at their pace. So sometimes you need to speed up and slow down depending on the person. So that's so wonderful. So Chris, my last question to you before you tell everybody where they can find you is, what is one thing or area that is currently cluttering your life?
Oh gosh. So since we launched our trash and recycling services, so I have my garage. One side is clean for my wife so she can put the garage in. The other side has our trash and recycling carts. As we bring in new carts. So they're coming in, and my wife was like, oh, is this our new overflow storage of your trash carts? So I'm working on that. But they are moving out fast. So, but it is, they're big, so they take up a lot of space. But I got them on a line neatly, so I don't know what the problem is.
No, and that's the thing is, with this podcast, I want everybody to be so comfortable in understanding that everybody's got clutter, whether it's one of these 4 different kinds of clutter. Somebody's got clutter going on right now. I've got a lot of mental clutter happening in my life, and it's okay. And it's also okay to ask for help and figure out how to relieve that clutter. And you have a plan. Eventually, hopefully, eventually you won't be half in your garage. You'll have a huge
Yep.
space eventually. But I love that you're working out of where you're at now to try and keep things, low overhead and everything. So, wherever you're doing really great. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so excited to have you as a friend and a referral partner. So, Chris, tell everybody where they can find you and how they can get a hold of you if they are ready to get rid of their junk.
Absolutely. So you can get a hold of us at dumparoo.com, Dumparoo, dumparoo.com. And you can also reach us at 517-657-8700. I carry that line with me at all times. Leave a message. You can send us a text. You can also send us an email if you have questions at service@dumparoo.com. Again, service@dumparoo.com. So there's
Awesome.
and you can also book on our website, if you know exactly what you need to get rid of, or if you need to rent a dumpster, or if you need trash and recycling services.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for coming on and talking to us about all things junk removal and how junk removal really can help add more organizing to our lives. And you're such a great partner with me because I need people to get their junk out of there before I can do anything anyway. So beautiful.
Well, it goes hand in hand. I appreciate it. Really, really enjoy myself being on here for sure.
Great. Well, thank you. And we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot.
This is an amazing junk removal guy. And for everybody out there, I really believe that every great organizing trio is organizers, junk removal, and cleaning companies. The 3 of us work super well together and we create this wonderful Venn diagram. All 3 types of industries work so well together to give somebody kind of the full picture of what it takes to be very organized and the whole process start to finish. The order I usually tell people to do things in is organizing, junk removal, and then cleaning. In order for the cleaners to really be able to do what they need to do, all of the things that you don't want in your life need to be gone. And in order for the junk removal guys to do what they need to do, you need to make the decisions on what you don't want anymore, which is where we come in. We really help figure out what those decisions are going to be. We pull all of your spatulas together in one spot so you know that you don't need 50 spatulas, you only need 3. It is the wonderful overlap that we sometimes hit. And sometimes our clients think we do multiples of this trifecta. So sometimes I will get clients that think I remove the trash and junk. And then I also get some clients that think I also clean. I don't want to do either of those things. I'll help load up a dumpster and I will do some basic wiping things down, especially in cabinets and drawers, but I'm not cleaning a toilet and I'm not getting rid of the junk for you after it's in the dumpster. I don't want to do that. I'll even go to the point of literally making sure that, your paint is dried before it goes into the dumpster. And so with that, I would really love to thank Chris so much for joining us and talking to us about the junk and giving us a little bit of insight into his life. Being an entrepreneur is very, very hard, and he is a very busy person. I think literally his phone died. But all of that to say, it's also to show that not everybody's path is the same, right? I like to tell everybody this is my 3rd business. It's not my first. It was not what I landed on first. This is my 3rd one. And sometimes it takes us doing all the little things to make it successful. Thanks again for joining, and stay tuned for next time where we talk more about clutter and bringing you behind the scenes to make sure that we are kicking down the door of that clutter and making impacts and changes in your life right now. Thanks.